April 4th, 2014, from the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It was the New York Yankees at the Toronto Blue Jays. Masahiro Tanaka made his MLB debut against Dustin McGowan. The Yankees jumped out to a quick lead as they gave their new star pitcher a 2-run lead to begin the game as Jacoby Ellsbury scored on a single from Carlos Beltran and Brett Gardner scored on a single from Teixeira in the first, making it 2-0 Yankees. Then in the bottom of the first, Masahiro Tanaka faced his first official batter in his MLB career. The first pitch was a fastball as Melky Cabrera took the first pitch for a strike, and then Tanaka threw a slider for his second pitch, which was a ball. Now with the count 1-1, Tanaka would let up a home run on a changeup to Melky Cabrera. Now with the score 2-1, Tanaka would keep his cool and retire the next batter on the very next pitch as he got Colby Rasmus to ground out on a fastball for his first out in the major leagues. Next up, it would be the dangerous slugger Jose Bautista, as this Blue Jays lineup only gets more difficult. But Masahiro Tanaka would rise to the occasion as he threw a curveball for a first pitch strike to Bautista to go up 0-1 in the count. Then after a fastball for a ball, Tanaka would get strike 2 on a fastball as Bautista swung and missed. Then with the count 1-2, Tanaka would get Bautista looking at a curveball for the second time in the at-bat as Masahiro Tanaka recorded his first strikeout in the major leagues in American baseball. The first curveball Bautista looked at was 76 miles per hour, and then the curveball that sent him into the dugout shaking his head was 86 miles per hour as Tanaka showed great command and control, switching up speeds on his breaking pitches and hitting his spots. Now with 2 outs, Edwin Encarnacion came to bat and would take a first pitch strike as he looked at a slider. The second pitch would be another slider for a strike as well, but this time Encarnacion took a chop at it and missed. The third pitch was yet another slider, but this time for a ball, and with the count 1-2, Tanaka would fire off a fourth slider as he got Encarnacion swinging with all his might as he caught nothing but air, striking out to end the inning. So after one, Masahiro Tanaka had already experienced the low of letting up a home run and the high of striking out back-to-back batters as he showed great tenacity and focus by getting out of the inning and getting the inning under control and showing how dominant he could be against 2 of the better sluggers in the AL East. At the end of one, Tanaka had allowed 1 hit, 1 earned run, and recorded 2 strikeouts with the Yankees ahead 2-1. Then in the bottom of the second, Masahiro Tanaka would face his 5th batter as Adam Lynn stepped into the box. Tanaka would get Lynn looking for strike 1 on a fastball, and then after a second fastball, the count would be even at 1 apiece. Lynn would then ground out to short for the first out of the second inning on a 3rd straight fastball of the at-bat. Daniel Navarro then came to bat and would take a first pitch strike as he looked at a curveball from Tanaka. Tanaka likes to jump ahead in the count, as he did often in this game. Tanaka would then get Navarro swinging on a changeup as the count was now 0-2. But on the 3rd pitch, Navarro would single a slider to right field. Now with 1 on and 1 out, Brett Lowry came to bat and took a first pitch curveball for a ball. Lowry fouled off a 2nd pitch slider and a 3rd pitch slider as well, as the count was now 1-2. And on the 4th pitch, Lowry would foul off a changeup, and that would bring up the 5th pitch of the at-bat, where Lowry singled a slider to center, advancing Navarro to second. Ryan Goings then came to the plate with 2 on and 1 out as he took a first pitch fastball for a strike. Goings then swung at a changeup for strike 2 and then fouled off a fastball. The 4th pitch was a slider for a ball, and with the count 1-2, Goings grounded the slider into a fielder's choice as Navarro advanced to 3rd, and Lowry then advanced to 2nd on a throwing error by Teixeira. All the runners were safe, and Teixeira would come out of the game injured as Brian Roberts would be substituted in. So it would be bases loaded for Jonathan Diaz as Tanaka faced his first pitching jam in the MLB. Diaz then singled the fastball to left field on the first pitch he saw as both Navarro and Lowry scored, and Goings advanced to second, and the score was now 3-2 Blue Jays. Now with a runner still in scoring position, Melky Cabrera would come to bat for the second time in this game as he had homered off Tanaka the first time around. Cabrera would take a curveball for the first pitch of the at-bat for a ball, then Melky fouled off a fastball on the second pitch and took a slider for a ball on the third pitch as the count was now 2-1 for Cabrera, who would foul off a fastball, bringing the count to 2-2. And with the fifth pitch of the at-bat, Tanaka avenged his first-inning mistake by striking out Melky Cabrera, swinging on a changeup as Masahiro Tanaka showed nerves of steel on the mound for New York, featuring pitches of varying speeds as he threw in the 70s, 80s, and 90s during the at-bat. Tanaka was now in a groove as he struck out Kobe Rasmus in 4 pitches, catching him looking on the first pitch with a slider, then swinging on the second pitch with a changeup, and just missed with a fastball, and finished Rasmus off with a slider as he got him swing with a foul tip to end the inning as Rasmus was out. So in the second, Tanaka allowed 3 hits and 2 runs, one of which was an earned run, and struck out 2, raising his strikeout total at this point to 4 after 2 innings. The Yankees would take back the lead in the top of the third when Brian Roberts walked and then stole second as Ichiro Suzuki was first called out at first, but then a challenge by New York would be successful as the replay showed Ichiro to be safe. Solarte then doubled to center field to drive in both Roberts and Ichiro Suzuki as both were off and running with the hit as there were 2 outs in the inning. The score was now 4-3 Yankees as New York took back the lead for Masahiro Tanaka. In the bottom of the third, Jose Bautista would lead off the inning, and he would look at a curveball for the first pitch strike, and then a changeup for a ball, followed by a slider for a strike, and then a fastball for a ball, and a changeup for a ball, as the count was now full at 3-2, as Bautista was showing great patience at the plate and getting a good look at the new star pitcher from the Yankees. And on the 6th pitch of the inning, Bautista fouled off a slider, and then a tough at-bat, Masahiro Tanaka would get Bautista to pop out to third on a slider as he won the duel with the slugger. Edwin Encarnacion then came to bat and took a fastball for strike 1 and looked at another fastball, but this time for a ball. Then he took a slider for ball 2 and a fastball for ball 3, as it was now 3-1. Encarnacion then lifted a fastball to left field for a double. Adam Lynn would then come to the plate with a man in scoring position and 1 out. Lynn would take a curveball for his first pitch, and it would be a ball. Then he'd foul off a fastball, followed by fouling off a cutter for strike 2. The next pitch would be a fastball in the dirt, evening the count at 2. Then Lynn fouled off a fastball, and Tanaka threw a slider, which Lynn took for ball 3, as the count was now full. Masahiro Tanaka would then record his 5th strikeout, as he got Lynn swinging on a curveball. Now with 2 outs and a man on second, Donier Navarro would come to bat, and he would ground a first pitch cutter back to the mound for the inning's 3rd out as Encarnacion was stranded on second. So in the 3rd inning, Tanaka would give up 1 hit and record 1 strikeout. In the top of the 4th, Brian McCann would extend the Yankees' lead as he singled to left field, driving in the speedy Jacoby Ellsbury, making the score 5-3 Yankees. Then in the bottom of the 4th, Masahiro Tanaka would set down the side in order as he would only need 6 pitches to do it as he fully settled into the game at this point and was getting better and better with every pitch. Brett Lowry would pop up to second on a fastball for the inning's 1st out. Ryan Goins would then take a fastball for the first pitch ball and then ground out the next pitch for the 2nd out of the inning. Jonathan Diaz then came to bat and he would take the first 2 pitches for balls, and then he would ground out on the 3rd pitch of the at-bat as Masahiro Tanaka threw nothing but fastballs in the 4th inning as he set down the side with 6 pitches, all in the 90s. That was the bottom of the lineup, though. Could Tanaka set down the top of the lineup in order in the 5th? Yes, he could, and yes, he did, as he got Cabrera, Rasmus, and Bautista to go down in order. First, Cabrera would take a fastball for a ball, then foul off a fastball and take a slider for ball 2. He then ripped and whiffed at a cutter for strike 2, and then he took a cutter for ball 3. And with the count full, Cabrera would ground out to second on a fastball as he was retired for the second time after his home run earlier in the game. Kobe Rasmus would pop out on a curveball to Ichiro Suzuki for out number 2, and that would bring up Jose Bautista. Bautista took a slider for strike 1 and then looked at a fastball for a ball. He then swung at a fastball and missed and fouled off a slider, and with the count 1-2, Bautista would strike out swinging for the second time in this game, but this time it would be a changeup that retired the big man. So in the 5th, Masahiro Tanaka would set down the side in order for the second consecutive inning as he recorded his 6th strikeout of the game, as he had now retired 8 batters in a row. Now in the bottom of the 6th, Edwin Encarnacion would lead off the inning. He looked at a curveball for strike 1, and then he took a fastball to even the count at 1. Encarnacion would then reach first on an infield grounder to short, deflected by the third baseman. Now with 1 on and a tying run at the plate, Adam Lynn would take a fastball in the dirt, but Encarnacion would not advance. Lynn then took a cutter and a fastball for back-to-back balls as the count was now 3-0. Lynn then took a fastball for a strike and the count was 3-1. Lynn would ground into a double play for the first double play of Masahiro Tanaka's MLB career. Daniel Navarro then came to bat with 2 outs and the bases empty, and after a changeup for a ball, Navarro would line a fastball to center, and Jacoby Ellsbury would make the play for the 3rd out of the inning. So in the 6th, Masahiro Tanaka would allow 1 hit. Masahiro Tanaka would come out to pitch the 7th inning, and it would be the last inning that he would pitch in this game before he would come out to be relieved. And in the 7th inning, Masahiro Tanaka finished strong as he looked very impressive. The first batter of the inning would be Brett Lowry. Lowry would take a cutter for the first pitch strike and swing at a fastball for strike 2. Lowry then fouled off a fastball to stay alive at the plate and would foul off another fastball before striking out swinging at yet another fastball, as he could not get good wood on Tanaka's fastball. The Blue Jays would then bring in pinch hitter Masahiro Tanaka, who came in to bat for Ryan Goins. Tanaka took a fastball for a ball to start the at-bat, and then flied a fastball out to left field for the 2nd out of the inning. Jonathan Diaz then came to bat, and he would be the final batter Masahiro Tanaka would face in this game. Diaz took the first pitch for a called strike, and then evened the count looking at a slider for a ball. Tanaka would then buckle down as he hit 93 miles per hour on the speedometer with a fastball for strike 2 as Diaz fouled off the pitch. Now with the count 1-2, Tanaka would go back to his money pitch as he struck out Diaz swinging with the fastball to record his 8th strikeout of the game, and the final out of the inning as Masahiro Tanaka would show the fans around the world that he has big time stuff and he is definitely for real. And in the 7th inning, Masahiro Tanaka will record 2 strikeouts as he would be done for the day as he left the game with a 2-run lead at 5-3 with a line of 7 innings pitched, 6 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts, and an ERA of 2.57 after his first Major League Baseball start for the New York Yankees on April 4, 2014. The Yankees would add insurance runs in the 8th and 9th innings as Gardner drove in Anna in the 8th, and Solarte drove in Ichiro Suzuki in the 9th as the Yankees won 7-3, and Masahiro Tanaka earns his first win of the season and his first win of his American Major League Baseball career in his first official game of the regular season as he made his debut in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Dustin McGowan gets the loss for the Blue Jays, and McGowan pitched 2 2/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 4 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Melky Cabrera was 1 for 4 with 1 RBI and 1 run scored as he had that 1 home run. And Edwin Encarnacion was 2 for 4. And for the New York Yankees, Masahiro Tanaka pitched 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts as he picked up the W. Jacoby Ellsbury was 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a walk, and Ichiro Suzuki was 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored. So Masahiro Tanaka picks up the win in his first start as a New York Yankee as the Yankees win 7-3.